On our 6-hour ride to Villisca, Iowa, we reviewed the names of the 8 victims murdered that night in the Moore home. 6 of them children ages 5 to 12. I wondered who in their right mind could carry out such a heinous act. I could see one axe murder in a fit of rage, but to repeat this 7 more times? This is obviously the work of a serial killer. Only a deranged psychopath could do this. The evidence from these 7 murder sites all have 7 facts that link them together. The map indicates the location of the crimes and the killer's path. Here is the time frame of the murders and the 30 victims. Now the question is, who is he? Local lore claims that the name Villisca means pretty place or pleasant view, but the Native Americans say it is derived from the word Villisca. Its name means evil spirit. Evil spirit truly fits this crime. On the evening of June 9th, 1912, the Moore family and the overnight guests, Lena and Ina Stillinger, attended a highly anticipated children's program at the local Presbyterian church. The program ended late around 9:30 p.m. The town of Villisca was dark. There was no moonlight, and a dispute between the municipal power company and city officials had resulted in the street lights being turned off. The Stillinger girls, afraid to walk alone through the darkened streets, telephoned home seeking permission to stay with the Moores. The Moore family and their young guests made their way home and settled into bed sometime around 10 p.m. When the sun came up Monday morning, a neighbor doing her wash noticed how unusually still the Moore house was. By the time the clock struck 7 a.m., curiosity turned to concern, and she telephoned Ross Moore, Joe's brother. Ross telephoned the house, getting no answer. He called his brother's store to find if he had arrived at work yet. Growing more concerned by the minute, Ross made haste to the Moore house. Along with the neighbor, Ross circled the house, calling out to his brother's family, looking for any signs of life. At 8:30, Ross pulled out his keys and opened the locked door. Once inside, he made his way through the kitchen and parlor toward the downstairs bedroom. Almost immediately, he was confronted by a horrific sight of the 2 bloody and lifeless bodies of Ina and Lena Stillinger, lying in the small bed in the downstairs sewing room. Ross stopped and immediately called Villisca Marshal Hank Horton, who arrived promptly to investigate. Once inside, Horton methodically went through the tiny house of horrors. Hank is quoted for saying there was someone murdered in every bed. The marshal entered the first upstairs bedroom and found the bodies of the parents, Joe and Sarah Moore. Then entered the second upstairs bedroom containing the bodies of all 4 of the Moore children. The only clue as to what had befallen the 8 victims was a bloody axe placed against the wall of the sewing room. Each victim had been bludgeoned with the blunt end of the axe until no face was recognizable. The bloodied faces of each victim, and oddly every mirror and window in the home, had been covered with items of clothing or blankets. In the attic, cigarette butts were found on the floor, indicating that the killer must have been hiding here until they were all asleep. Word spread like wildfire through the close-knit community, and soon the house was overrun with police, neighbors, townsfolk, and curiosity seekers. Any hope of securing the crime scene was lost, and vital potential evidence destroyed in the frenzy of activity. Many suspects, no convictions, no closure. A hired killer from a business competitor, a mentally ill reverend who confessed to it and was acquitted twice. Even a state senator was accused. The best detectives in the country have attempted to solve this case for many years but failed. Can I get the spirits to tell me who did this? We arrive in Villisca 5 days after the 107th anniversary of the horrific event. I have worked many cases that have involved murder, but none to this extent. The research alone has taken its toll on me, and it's been very emotional. I know many paranormal teams have attempted this task. It will take a specific, sensitive approach. I have never felt the pressure to produce evidence until now.